Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. I'm super sorry that there was not a video yesterday, but I was working on this one, so I hope you guys will enjoy this one because I think it's pretty cool, and I hope that you will agree with me, or if you disagree with me, let me know. But what exactly am I talking about? I'm talking about this ranking of the strategies which are in the game right now. Obviously, I cannot really pick every single strategy which is existing. That's just straight not possible, but I will do a ranking on all of those strategies which you can see right now on your screen from DragBat to Yeti Bo Bat. Then in addition to that, showing you guys on where I rank every single strategy, I will show you guys to a couple of those highlight videos on how you guys can use it. And if you want to see more strategy guides on those specific armies, you can just take a look at down below in the comments. There's a pinned link down there where you can find every single video to every single strategy in this video. I hope that will help. And then the next thing, you guys will find a link for the ranking down below in the comment section as well. And well, you can send me screenshots of what your rankings would look like, and you can disagree or agree with me down below in the comments, and let's argue about which is your best strategy, which is the worst right now. In addition to that, I'm getting back to streaming, which means this Sunday at 8 p.m. I will be most likely streaming. It's in German, but if you still want to enjoy and watch it, we will do some live planning and live attacks in the final of the of one of the community leagues. So yeah, if you want to join me over there, make sure to do not miss it. But for now, let's get started with the strategy, with the ranking overall. We have a ton of strategies down there, and we will rank them in every single tier, which means S is the best, A is the next best, and then like D tier is the worst. We're starting off with DragBat, and yeah, we just take a look at every single strategy. And like I said, to a couple of those, I will show you guys highlight videos or like how highlight attacks on how you guys can execute those as well. In addition to that, we will rank every single strategy in the tiers as well. So I will get to that in a bit. As soon as we already ranked a couple of strategies, then it's way easier to understand. So let's get started with DragBat. And DragBat right now is really strong, and I put it in the A tier. Why exactly do I put it over there? Well, it's crazy strong right now because of the current meta. The current meta exists, or is kind of basically defined by ground armies mainly, and this means a lot of ground expos, a lot of single inferno towers, and both is perfect for DragBat. So the main objective you're going for when you're doing an attack like this, kind of like I'm doing in this one, even though the outside CC is kind of annoying, but what you're normally going for is something like you want to go for a lot of splash damage with your dragons, and then you want to go for the back end with your bats. You're using the free spells to support your bats to make sure that they're not dying. Bat spells in itself, or like bats in itself, cannot trigger any red bombs or traps overall, so you have to make sure that you be careful with adding other troops to the bats, because for example, a loon can trigger red mine and then those bats can get hit by the red mine. But triggering by themselves the traps, that's not possible. So that's something which you always need to keep in mind. On this attack, we're getting into the town hall kind of nice and early. The next thing is that you do not want to go with bats into a town hall. That won't work. Bats are doing reduced damage against storages, and the town hall is counting as a storage as well. So be careful with that. And then you want to go in for the back end with the bats, for example, against air defenses or single inferno towers. Those are kind of the best things you want to go for. And you can bring an ice golem as well in addition if you want to tank back end wizard towers, kind of like we're doing in this one. So we're starting off with our bats, using the free spell perfectly, and that's something which you have to learn. You have to learn the timings. The wizard tower is kind of doing like a animation and then slowly shooting, and if you can time that perfectly, you can save you a couple of seconds, which are sometimes really crucial to get those 3-stars in, kind of the same as I did over here with having the freezes for the back end. We went into kind of 5 wizard towers and we still pull it off and have this overkill 3-star on the board. So after the last Tesla's going down, I think we should take a look at the next strategy to make sure that we're getting all of those down, or like getting all of those ranked today in our ranking overall. The next one is going to be Dragonclone, and I think I did so many videos on that that I won't specifically do a replay in this video. But if you want to see some Dragonclone videos and how you guys can pull it off, just check down below in the comments. I put Dragonclone below DragBat because it's just, the bats are just so more powerful than the Electrone part and the Dragon part, I think, right now, because of the current meta. But let's take a look at the next thing, which is Electrone Lalo. And I think Electrone Lalo is right now pretty strong, especially because of the single Inferno Towers and the ground expos. This as combination is crazy nice for you as an attacker. In addition to that, another thing which was always a weakness to the Electrone were air skeletons. Those air skeletons in an Electrone could easily mess up the entire queen kill, and that's not the best thing to happen. But right now, with having such a big ground meta, then it's kind of easy that most of the people are having right now ground skeletons. So it's really rare that you're running into an air skeleton, so that's kind of easy to say. One thing which I completely forgot about is how exactly do I, like, what are the big points for this ranking? Like, what are the points on how do I rank this those strategies? And I will talk about that during. You guys can see a nice Electrone on a ring base, which I recently did in Legend League. So one thing for this ranking is, if you have, for example, 10 different bases, 10 meta bases, legend bases, however you want to call those, if you have 10 of those and you're taking those 10 bases with this one strategy, how effectively is this strategy? That's kind of how this ranking works, and that's like kind of like how I try to rank those strategies. I feel like the strategies which work on the most bases are kind of powerful as well, and they're the most powerful in the game because they work on a variety on different bases. And well, that's kind of the idea behind this ranking. Let's put it like this. Obviously, those 10 bases can always be random and everything, but that's the idea behind this. And I think Electrone is really strong because if you have like 10 different bases right now, out of those 10 bases, most of the time, the majority of expos are set to ground and the majorities of Inferno Towers is set to single. This is why I put Electrone Lalo really high on my list in the A tier, in behind of DragBat, but I still think that's a pretty good strategy, which if you can master it, it's crazy strong. So for us, let's wait for the last remaining defenses to go down, and then we can get back to the ranking and see which strategy is next and where do we rank this one. The next one is going to be Mass Edrags, and I think I will just put on C tier. I think Edrags are just so much more worse than normal dragons right now, so I just, yeah, DragBat A, Dragonclone B, Mass Edrag C. I don't know where I would put it anywhere else. Let's take a look at the next one, which is Mass Hybride. And I know, I guess Cinti will disagree with me over there, but I would just put it even in behind of Mass Edrags. I don't know. I just think because so many ground ground traps and ground setups, like that's kind of the meta which is out there right now. So I think Mass Hogs right now isn't in the best spot. So it can work obviously, and Cinti is showing that and a couple of other guys, but I just don't think it's that strong. And Mass Miners is even worse. To be honest, I don't even know why I had this on this list. But, well, I guess something needs to be in the D tier, right? So, Mass Miners, horrible. Do not touch the strategy. Next one is PekkaBoBat. And this is kind of interesting. I put it on C tier as well because the big problems overall, not specific with this strategy, but overall with Pekka right now is 25 housing space against single Inferno Towers is kind of weak. So PekkaBoBat and Pekkasmash right now are not really in the best spot on Town Hall 13, and that's why I put it in the C tier. I put PekkaBoBat a little bit higher than Pekkasmash because I think the bats are helping the Pekka push a little bit more than just straight up Pekkasmash, so that's why. The next one is Queen Charge Hog Riders, and I put it in the B tier because once again there are so many ground targeting defenses right now and such a ground heavy meta, just because of the strategy which I just put in there, Queen Charge Hybrid. So Queen Charge Hybrid in the S tier, and even though I'm showing so many Queen Charge Hybrid tags to you guys, I have to highlight this one more time. Queen Charge Hybrid is the strategy to go for if you want to have success right now. It's just so crazy strong, and it's basically working on any base. So it's kind of like the old Queen Charge Lalo on Town Hall 12, 11, 10, 9. So that's kind of how this strategy is right now. Let's see if it's getting changed anytime soon, or if Supercell is liking it, how it is right now. But yeah, if you want to have a strategy which is crazy powerful, it's going to be Queen Charge Hybrid. Queen Charge Hog Riders and Queen Charge Miners, do not get me wrong, they're good as well. But just if you compare it with this synergy power of the Hog Riders and the Miners, it's just way better. And I want to briefly touch on why exactly and when exactly do you use Hybrid, when Hog Riders, and when only Miners. Hybrid, you're using, or you can basically always use Hybrid. Sometimes if you can take out all of those enemy 3 heroes, like Royal Champ, King, and Queen, then you can just sometimes opt into Hog Riders. And you want to have Miners if you cannot take out too many of the enemy heroes, and if you have too many storages in the base, or like too many different kind of defense buildings, which means like non-defense buildings and defense buildings, because this would mean those Hog Riders and Miners would split up each other, because the Miners will stick on the storages, the Hog Riders will just pass on and go for the defending buildings. So that's not really how it works, and this is when you should sometimes even use Miners instead of Hybrid. But most of the time, just Hybrid is better than both of the other tools, because the synergy is just like making the weakness of the other troop kind of disappear. So the weakness of Miners are skeletons, because they are stuck on those skeleton traps forever and they can't deal really damage to the next defense. Hog Riders, meanwhile, the weakness to them is that they can't really defend themselves against skeleton traps or enemy heroes. And this is what the Miners will attack. So with having Hog Riders in there, you have constant DPS, because those Hog Riders will always attack the defenses. And with having the Miners in there, they will always attack the things which will attack the the Hog Riders. And this synergy is just so powerful right now that it's on the first place on our ranking list. And well, in the background you can see it perfectly. Like the Miners and Hog Riders would just like go through the base like nothing, and would cut through it easily. And yeah, this one is just really big overkill. Do not look at the time. This won't be a 99. We will just skip through the ranking back. I guess we won't watch the end of this attack. And let's get back to the ranking. Let's get back to the ranking without watching the end of this attack. This time, the time isn't a good thing in Clash of Clans. But let's get back to the ranking. The next one is Queen Charge Miners. And I think Queen Charge Hog Riders is better than Miners. I just think Miners are too weak against all of those ground skeletons right now, so it's really rare that they're kind of useful. But still, it's a B tier strategy in my opinion. It's still sometimes working, not always, but that's how it is. The next strategy might surprise a couple of you guys, which is Queen Charge Lalo, and I put it on the B ranking as well, kind of in between of Dragonclone and Queen Charge Miners. The reason for it is that one of the big parts about Queen Charge Lalo is the Queen Charge, and the big question you have is, when you're already doing a Queen Charge into like tons of ground expos, why would you do Lalo backend, which is way more difficult to pull off and way more base dependent, if you can just use Hybrid? Like, why would you do that? And this is why Queen Charge Lalo is not as high as Hybrid, for example, or not even close to that. And this is why I think right now, if you compare Queen Charge Lalo to the Sui Lalo, like the only Lalo version, or like the Electrone Lalo, I think out of those three, the Queen Charge Lalo right now is the weakest, which is kind of sad. But so many people try to defend Queen Charges right now with ground expos and everything, that it's kind of weakening, it's kind of making Queen Charge Lalo weak as well. So that's kind of how it works, sadly. But yeah, I think Queen Charge Lalo is a viable option, but it's really hard to pull off. A couple of really good players can do it, but yeah, I don't think that it's as strong in comparison to other strategies which are existing right now. That's why I would put it in B tier. I think it's a little bit weaker than Queen Charge Hog Riders, for example. And you kind of have similar objectives with taking out the enemy heroes. Obviously, on Queen Charge Lalo, you only have to take out Queen and Royal Champion. On Hog Riders, it's kind of nice if you can take out the King as well. But overall, I just think that Lalo is, against those cutter shots, so really so hard to pull off, especially if you do not have the amount of spells, because you have to invest so much into the Queen Charge. So yeah, that's why I put it into the B tier, and even kind of far back into the B tier. But yeah, this attack over here, you can see it in the background. If you can find a base where you do not face too many expos at the same time, or even facing air expos on your queen charge, then the strategy is working really well. Obviously, the Lalo pathing isn't the easiest thing to do, but if you can master this, it's really worth it putting the time into that. But right now, on turn 13, I would say to you guys, it's worth it more if you would put in the time into Sui Lalo or Electrone, because I think both of them are a bit stronger than the queen charge version right now. But on this one, yeah, this one is going to be a 3-star kind of easily. We still have 50 seconds left. The last haste spell is getting placed. Obviously, this was like a pushback to Legend League, so not in me clan cast, so I had to swag the poison, obviously. But yeah, now we're getting to Sui Lalo, and actually, it's kind of tricky. I don't really know if I would put it in front of DragBat or in behind. I think I would put it even better than DragBat, because I think Sui Lalo, it is really hard to pull off, but if someone can master DragBat and someone can master Sui Lalo, I think Sui Lalo is stronger. It's one of the toughest things to do in Clash of Clans right now. I think Sui Lalo might be the hardest strategy to pull off, but if you have someone who's able to pull it off, like a couple of the Vatan guys, or even other players, it's so powerful. It's crazy. If you can master, or like if you're a master in Lalo and Sui Lalo, it's so powerful. And all of you guys who are wondering what is the Sui standing for, it's kind of like getting entries with your heroes, and it's kind of like from the word suicide. But yeah, that's where the Sui is coming from. That's why it's Sui Lalo. So the Lalo over here on this one is looking really good. He was only going for the town hall with his queen. Then meanwhile he was going for the enemy queen and the scatter shot with his other two heroes, with his king and royal champion. And then the dragon is taking out the last air hero, which means you always need to plan for the enemy queen, enemy royal champion, to take those out. And then obviously you need to be really careful against those scatter shots. If you can make that work, this strategy is really powerful in the right hands. Nick is showing that right now really, really nicely over here. And he has so many loons still left. He has even a hound left in the mix over there. So this is going to be an easy triple for him. And especially against all of those ground expos, Sui Lalo is such a great strategy. And most of the bases have even single front towers, which is even better for Lalo, because those single front towers have a really tough time to take all of like this majority of loons, which means in the Sui Lalo deck you have around like 30 to 36 loons or something like that. So really a lot of loons, and it's really hard to deal with all of those if you can properly tank the scatter shots and the splash damage in the base. So nice attack by Nick. And let's get to the next strategy, which is going to be Yeti Smash. And it's, as you guys know it, it's on S tier. I put it in behind of Hybride because I think Hybride is just more reliable and you can easily, or like more easily plan it, I think. But Yeti Smash is, I think it's just super close. Like Queen Charge Hybride and Yeti Smash right now are by far the best two strategies in the game right now. So on this one, the idea behind is making a synergy in between of the Super Ball Breakers and the Yeti Smash, which made this strategy even stronger, because sometimes you could just save so many spells kind of on this base. You can see he did a double layer with the Super Ball Break, and he only needs 2 more, or like he's even using 2 more jump spells. But just this death ball kind of rolling over the base, it's crazy. It's just so crazy how powerful it is, and it's so hard to defend. We were talking about the synergy in between of Hawk Runners and Miners earlier, and I think the synergy in between of Yetis and healers is so crazy strong overall. And this is why this strategy is so high up there. And it kind of took the throne of Pekkasmash back then at Town Hall 12. But I think just having a troop costing 25 housing space against those single inferno towers, it's so risky. On those Yeti Smash attacks, you can take like 5 to 6 Yetis. And think about taking 5 to 6 Pekka. That's a crazy big difference in the housing space. So you have so much more supportive troops on the Yeti Smash than in the Pekkasmash. And this is why Pekkasmash is that low on the ranking and Yeti Smash is that high. So nicely done by Edrag on this attack. And I think we should get back to this ranking list for the last strategy which we have over there. And that's kind of the small brother of Yeti Smash. That's kind of it's really hard. Actually, I don't really know if it's higher or lower, but we're talking about Yeti Bo Bat. And I'm not really sure if it's better or worse. I think people are slowly catching on how to defend bats, so I think it's a little bit worse. So that's why I put it in the first play of A tier. But Yeti Smash and Yeti Bo Bat right now are crazy strong. So if you want to master those two strategies, which is kind of easy compared to, for example, Lalo. So if you can master those two strategies, you will be super fine in any of your war attacks, in legend attacks, overall pretty good. So let's take a look at this attack. And one thing which I like, for example, about Yeti Bo Bat more than, for example, in DragBat, is that you do not really care about the clan castle. And what exactly do I mean by that? I mean by that, on a DragBat attack, you need to be really careful with your heroes and luring out the enemy clan castle. For example, if you're luring out by accident an enemy lava hound on a DragBat attack, you're kind of screwed. Your attack is pretty much over most of the time. On a Yeti Bat attack, you can easily use your Royal Champion on really dangerous locations regarding the clan castle, and you do not really have to pay attention to the clan castle, and that's kind of the nice thing. For example, on this one, I couldn't have sent the Royal Champion over there on a DragBat attack because he will, or like she would most likely be in range of the enemy clan castle and would lure that out, which is always a bad thing. But having combining her with the ground army, it's way easier because the clan castle is already dead, because the main push already took that out. So I think that's why I like Yeti Bo Bat more than DragBat, and that's why I put it higher as well in the ranking. So this is a crazy big overkill. I think we still have the Royal Champ ability, but yeah, this is the last strategy which I would like to rank in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the ranking. Now it's up to you guys. Let me know what would you guys change. I think there are a lot of strategies which might might be changed. I think especially Mass Hog Riders might be strategy which a lot of you would rank different. Maybe even Mass Edrags. Let me know what you guys think. And well, you guys can post me your screenshots of your rankings as well on my Discord server, for example, or on social media, Instagram or Twitter. Just let me know. Looking forward to that, or let me down below in the comments what you guys think on my ranking. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope I will see you guys back tomorrow for another one, or on Sunday for the first stream since a long time. And well, thank you guys so much for watching, and see you guys back tomorrow. Until then, and bye bye.